Have you ever looked at that number on an envelope or on a package and thought, what is that? Today we're going to be talking all about zip codes, how they work, how they came to be, and why we need them. So guys, today we're talking all about zip codes. And zip codes are really important because they really revolutionize the way packages and letters are handled in American logistics. And this mostly came about in 1963 because the postal system was dealing with a major influx of packages. Businesses were booming in the post-World War II era, and they were sending a lot of mail, and the postal system could not keep up with this. In 1963, the postal system sat down and said, how can we make this better? And they introduced what was known as the Zoning Improvement Plan. And, they went and they pushed this thing. They used commercials. They used, singing and dancing people. They used cartoons to really get all these Americans to adopt the zip code and start using it when they're, writing their address. And a zip code is really important because what it does is as you move from the left to the right of the zip code, it gets more and more specific about location. Right, so there's a lot of information in the zip code. The first number in a zip code is what's known as the region code. And these regions vary from 0 to 9. And they represent a collection of states or, a section of the country. And as a general rule, from east to west, they start at 0 and they head to 9. And based on this digit, you can figure out what state that package is going to, or collection of states, without having to go any further in that number. And that's really cool because if you're sending a tractor trailer full of a bunch of packages, you want to make sure it's going to the right area of the country, first of all, before you're even worried about how it's going to get to the door. So that first number is really important, and it has a lot of really important information. The second and third number of a zip code is what's known as the sectional center facility. So you have these packages on a truck, and they got to go somewhere. So there's these really big post offices, right? Think of them as sort centers, distribution centers, where, this truck's going, and they're going to drop off a whole truckload of packages. Those packages could be going to different towns within a state, possibly even different states. If you live in one of those postal regions that have more than one state in them, and it's going to, tell them what sort center they're going to. So these numbers vary. They're not random. It tells you what sort center it's going to. So, sort center 13 is different than 33, and this helps break that down even more and get more specific. So now you're talking about an entire section within a region, and that's where this package is going. And once it gets there, it's going to get sorted even lower, right, to the last two digits. The last two digits of a zip code represent a part of a city or a town or, a collection of towns, depending on, how many people live in that area and how specific you have to get. And what's going to happen is from the sort facility, they're going to go and they're going to section these packages out to get even more granular, to deliver to parts of cities, to deliver to small towns. And those last two digits are what really enables you to, really dig down and make sure that the package gets to the right town. Before you ever look at another piece of that address, you can make sure that the package is in the right town, just off of a zip code, and that's magical. And zip codes, as you know, in the 80s, kind of got expanded, and you see those extra 4 digits. You ever go shopping online, and they're like, we recommend you add these 4 digits. Those 4 digits get even more granular. They can refer to a street, they can refer to a building, they can refer to a section of a street, a floor of a building. And, they allow you to get more granular. And it's hard to explain exactly what they mean because they can mean various things. But usually it's referring to a street or a building or a floor. Just a way for the post office to get more granular with that delivery and understand where they are going. The future of zip codes is looking really bright. As more and more people are inhabiting the world, we need to get more and more specific with how we're delivering packages. And that means that zip codes are going to continue to get more and more complex, but also convey more information. whether that's going to be through geographic coding, like using longitude and latitude lines or using a combination of symbols or letters. We're going to be able to get more and more granular with zip codes as we continue to progress. And it's going to be really interesting to see how zip codes and the zoning program are expanded over the rest of our lifetimes. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new today, I'd like to get this subscriber count to look like a zip code. So if you could do us a favor, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share. We're really trying to get to that 1,000. And our goal for 2021 is to really get to 5,000. So if you could help us accomplish our goals, we'd really appreciate it. And we hope you'll join us next week for another exciting video. We're going to be doing all kinds of cool stuff here this year in 2021. And we want you to be along for the ride.